Thank you very much, Chair. Of course, we're live here from Howth in North County Dublin this morning. We've made it up the cliff path now. We finally found the Eire 6 sign there behind me at the top of the summit, and joined now to talk us through the historical significance of it is local historian Philip O'Connor. Good morning to you, Philip. Philip, talk us through the history behind this sign.
Right, Derek. Well, there were 83 of these signs around the coast of Ireland on headlands, and as you can see, they're quite big. I mean, the letters are about 7 metres high, and the whole sign is about 20 metres long. And they were aerial recognition signs because it was during the Second World War they were built, and there was a lot of activity with the war at sea, the bombers, everything, and it was so airmen would know that they were at the coast of neutral Ireland. Ireland was neutral and tried to remain neutral in the Second World War.
Now, of course, this wasn't, it didn't start off as a World War, it started as the European War.
That's right. At the start, 1939, 1940, it was the Germans had attacked Poland over the city of Danzig, and the British and French declared war on Germany. So it was a war in Europe, and that's what people called it at the time, the European War. And a big part of it was the war at sea with the U-boats and the British Navy. And the initial threat in Ireland was, the fear was an invasion, that the British would re-invade Ireland. They'd only left 20 years before.
So this was 1939 to 1940?
Yeah. And then after that, it changed very dramatically because the war became a world war. Russia came into the war when Germany invaded Russia. America came into the war, and they came into the European war in 1942. So you had huge military activity all over Europe, and trying to stay neutral in that atmosphere was an incredible achievement.
Now, in terms of these signs, they are obviously dotted right around the coastline. Yes. We have Eire 7 down the road in Dalkey.
Yes.
And Eire 6 here. So what was the significance of both of those?
Well, these were, first of all, the Eire 6 sign. It's actually on the flight path into Dublin Airport, and in those days there was one flight a day to Manchester. Wow. And so that's why that's here. But also, it and Dalkey were the two sides of Dublin Bay. So they were, you'd look outposts, and they were manned by local volunteers, and they were throughout the entire war. They were there. So when the Germans bombed the North Strand, it was the lookout post here at Dalkey, and at Howth there were searchlights trying to catch the German planes, and there were guns in Fairview Park and in Phoenix Park trying to shoot at them. And also when the Germans bombed Belfast is part of Britain, of course. They were going for the shipyards. There was terrible carnage in Belfast from those bombings, and the planes came up the coast here. So the first warnings that they were coming would have come from these lookout posts, and the warnings were sent on and so on. So it's all a very dramatic history.
Absolutely. I could chat to you all morning about it. Absolutely fascinating. Of course, we'll be chatting to Lara O'Brien, the project coordinator here into the 9 o'clock hour, so do hang with us for that. Anyway,